actually open with confidence that this is happening. No promises, of course, but you know, we can think about it. So there's an image to open up to. If you don't know Skyjacks, which this makes no sense whatsoever, that's okay. I love Jonna's hair. I do. It's one of my favorite things. The bandana is one of my least favorite things. I don't like putting the bandana because then it always obscures half the face. But I love doing his hair. And the secret is squiggles, is embroidery, it's ruffles, and it's also mad cool hair. Gotta love it. Quite the image, huh? Yeah, I loved hearing this as the game, thinking, I'm gonna draw this. I'm gonna draw this pig butt with a little. There's a gem on it. I don't know if you can tell so well. There's a gem on it since putting in some of the hairs on the tail. I think I may have to take the hairs off of the tail so we don't have to worry about that. That's what I'm guessing. But the shock factor still works. It's a great shock factor. Oh no. Oh no. Please do not. Well, this is fun. Let's see if I can access this so that I can see. There we go. Whoops. I suspect this is going to be about the same shade as the jacket, which will not go over well. But with moments like these, you can't miss moments like these. I mean, come on, she's got the snake. We've got a pig's behind. And if it wasn't implied, if you don't know Skyjacks, you really should. But the idea of kissing the ring. Kiss the ring! Where is the ring? On the pig's tail. Big old pig's tail. Like it ought to be, right? Maximum comedy. That's what we're after here. Maximum comedy. There are moments, I have to say, Skyjacks is one of those moments I have to be careful while driving. Because it is so funny, I could run off the road. It's also been very introspective and kind. Hey there! It's Sergey. Thank you, I'm very much happy to do some tuning. Not your kind of tuning. That's music tuning. I know nothing about. I am beyond musically illiterate. My kids tease me. I say that music looks like squashed ants, like on a page. I can't read music. I can't play music. I don't sing. Nothing. I don't even listen to music, generally speaking. I like it quiet. And I seem to be very unusual in that. Because when I write, and most of the time, supposedly I'm a writer, most of the time when I write, I cannot write. People are like, what's your playlist? Or, you know, what cafe do you go to? And I'm like, none. No sound. No distractions. Nothing. I can't have it. Doodling, yes. Nothing else. No sound. No people. People are interesting. That's the worst part. I used to go to writers' workshops and retreats, and I couldn't get any writing done. And I really didn't mind that part because I could do writing anytime. I didn't get to see people very often. I like people. So the idea of being in a room full of incredible writers and that you're just supposed to sit there and type. I'm like, are you crazy? That's the worst plan I ever heard of. Didn't want to do that. Here you go, little Travis Snake. Everybody looking appropriately shocked and horrified? Because that's what we're going for. Shock and horror. My staples. So what have we got? We've got so much. The truth is, Skyjacks, I was listening, and then I stopped for a while. I don't know what happened, and now I'm just so behind. I'm just binging tons of stuff. It's crazy. We'll see what we can write here. This one, we have Travis, who now can become a snake during the day. He had to deal with this. And Gable's usually the one who's stuck carrying him and having to deal with the consequences of dealing with Travis as a snake. But this time, we had maybe not a plan, but something else they could do. So, let's see. He's like a 5-foot long snake. So he's a long snake. So they determined it was a 5-foot long snake, which is definitely a lot longer than I thought he would be. But okay, you know. Yes, and. Yes, and. A little shock snake here. And here's Gable. We're going to try and deal with this, which you can't see because it's off the screen. Haha. That's better. Yeah, one day I will get this all done. Really? I thought that you would be able to do, you know, that music is just part of your everyday. I'm surprised to hear that. There are some things you can do with and without music. Here we go. So we've got Gable handing off Travis to Jonnet. There's that bandana again. And the really great hair. Great. Fountains of hair. I love it. Here's Jonnet feeling a little helpless with what he's just been tasked with here. His rope belt. That's how we define how big are people. This is how I figure it out. The line is, Jonnet, take my snake. And that's pretty much it before Jonnet screams because he doesn't expect to be handed off a snake. And then when people are getting angry, he's like, hey, you know what? Snake! I'm going to do, hey, you know what? Snake over here. It's smaller. This is how I do this, right? That pretty much tells me how he's going to react. That's, you need angry face. You need angry face to figure out what's going on here. There we go. Also make an angry. I thought I was going to just do a regular, like he was surprised, but it's Travis. So, I'll do. I'm going to be like shaking him. Hey, you know what? Snake! And either he's going to be pointing at him, or I think I'm going to just put it in like one of those little shaking fists. They're really angry. I don't want to interrupt the little movement lines there. with something as trivial as an arm. There you go. You know what? Snake. Hello. How you doing, Abe? Good to see you. Snake, snake, snake. There you go. Here, hold my snake. That sounds bad. Okay, that sounds bad. That's not what I meant. This just, never mind. We're just going to leave that at that. Okay. So here is Gable. How does it? Yeah, better than the ooze. It is not a flesh snake. No, it's not. This is trying to appeal to the snake, which, if you knew about this character, if you knew about Travis, you knew how completely useless this is. How do you appeal to a snake? I don't know how we're going to do this. First we have to hold the snake. Hold snake. Alright. That's pretty good. I'll give myself credit for that one. Okay, and we're going to try to appeal to the snake. Appeal to snake logic. These are the sentences that you say out loud when you're trying to figure out how to draw something. Here we go. Right? This looks like we're going to try to appeal to reason. As ridiculous as that may seem. As ridiculous as that. I'm talking about doing this about a snake. So already this is pretty ridiculous. Let's not judge. Everybody wears long coats now in D&D. I don't know why. But this isn't D&D, technically. But yeah, in RPGs, just the long coat seems to be like the new favored thing. I don't have to worry about drawing armor or pouches. Or just nobody does that anymore. It's all long coats. I don't know why. I should be grateful, I'm sure. That did not come out right. That's going to come out in post. Now determine that. There we go. And that's... Yeah, Firefly actually, you can blame a lot of the cosplay. That line in Castle, where he dresses as a space cowboy, just about did me in. I laughed so hard, I thought I was going to choke. So this says, can you behave for once in your life? And Travis the Snake says, well, yes, but it doesn't have to be now. If it's going to be once, I want it to be good. Which, you know, there was also one, another quote, the same picture could use, I don't know if I use the same picture, but the quote is, also, you are a noodle that I can cut in half. And Travis is like, you cut your noodles? And there's like this pause. And Gable's like, well, sometimes they're too long. Which I thought was really funny. I really liked that. Okay, maybe it's just me. I don't know. I think it's fun. So there's more snake I think I'm going to just do snake cartoons for a while. Maybe we'll do that for a while. Oh, and then there's one thing from Spit, who's like disgusting, and he's a lot of fun. But I only need a little picture of Spit. I need a little bit more for this whole thing with the joke of the snake. So let's see. Frostbite doesn't wear a long coat. That's true, but also I draw Frostbite like this big. That's why. And cloaks cover a lot. You are right. You are right. I won't argue this. I'm just saying. So again, we have Gable. I was going to do a whole bunch of things for Westlands, but I have to say I've already drawn. I jumped the gun. Like Drew. Everything that happened in the last game has already been drawn. There's some old stuff that I might be able to do. This has been a little tricky because Gable got their haircut and that's thrown me. I'm still not prepared. It's been a while too. They cut their long braid. They had a braid coil on top of their hair and I practiced that for so long. It's now tough for me to do it without. I don't know why it's so difficult. Snakes are cute. That's true. Although not when they are in your coat sleeve. I can tell you that much. Did not like that. Here's Travis the snake. Now it's going to look more like a worm because hard to distinguish between the two. And if there's 1, 2, 3, here we go. And we're going to wrap around. This is not easy to do in retrospect here. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I make it that much more difficult? Purist. Okay. I am my own worst enemy. Or my own best friend. It's a lot of fun. Either or. Do a little snaky tail coming off. So here. That'll be the quote. I wonder if I should put Travis in as well. It's a little late because now there's only this much room. Can I squeeze Travis in here? I mean, Jonet. Can I squeeze Jonet in there? I don't know. We'll come back to that. So there was this guy. Which you don't need to know anything about. Trust me. There we go. And he had... How do you make just standard something? I don't know. But he was wearing a kilt, so we're going to do a little bit of kilt action here. As if... There we go. There. That's not bad for a kilt. I declare to no one in particular, except I'm not talking to myself. There. You know what? I'm going to try and squeeze Janet in. We'll see what we can do here. It's also tough. I'm very bad with heights. This is something I've noticed. Relative heights I'm not so good at because Gable is like 7 feet tall. And Janet's like a regular 15-year-old kid. And while he could be gangly, I don't think he can be this gangly. That's a lot to ask. If you hear my cat... I have nothing to say. You can just hear my cat. He's being very meowy today. I'm not sure why. It happens. There we go. They are really cute, but the problem is you want things to still look like snakes and not worms. I mean, purple worms aside. But you want it to still look kind of snakish and not wormy, if that makes sense. Let's just tuck this arm behind. That'll make my life easier. Also makes him look pretty cool, I have to say. There we go. Make this a little tough. I don't do the whole body anymore because there's really no reason to. I'll go back and I'll do tartan, whatever, later. He's very meowy today. I'm not sure what's the story, but that's fine. And the quote is, "This is our former quartermaster. I apologize in advance for anything he's about to say." Because it's true, it's not a snake. He's a changeling who made a deal with the Raven Queen. Or no, sorry, not the Raven Queen, the Summer Queen. The Fey Summer Queen of the Summer Court. And he is a changeling, and before he was changing at night, now he changes during the day. And he's played by Johnny, who's just... hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I love listening to this because it's based off of Chicago stand-up. And they're just really astonishingly good. Let's see. What have we got? This is Leotoa. I'm not sure if I want to do this. Okay, so this is Spit. I'm gonna use Spit's quote. There's not a lot to draw, but the quote is just so fun. And Spit is so disgusting. And you gotta love it. Sometimes those characters are literally the best characters. I believe that he was on a bad trip at the time, so that even makes it more funny. And I do Spit as a slightly different facial structure than I do for most of the rest of things that I draw. It gives him such a distinctive quality. Sometimes then, when you make something that looks so different, it really makes that character stand out, and I enjoy that a lot. I'm going to use a smaller pen for this, so I'm going to do this. There you go. Get an idea of Spit here. I'm going to look at this quote. Is insane. Actually, that just pretty much captured the character right there. That's good. I love that feeling, though. I think I can use this for more than one quote here, which is actually pretty impressive since this is this weird hallucination one. But this is one of my favorite when you do a shrug. I mean, really, that's it. That's what you need to show a shrug. So says me. There we go. Roll the sleeves. Right. There we go. It's Spit! Disgusting Spit. Well, with a name like Spit, you're kind of already halfway there, really. Let's see. And now my cat's quiet. Justin, it's because you said something. You said something and now he won't talk. There we go. Which I don't mind. Again, rather like quiet. Rather like the quiet. There we go. This is giving an idea of... He's not self-conscious. There's one thing that my cat is not. My cat is not self-conscious, I'm quite assured. That is not a problem. The problem with doing hatch markers is where do you stop? Because you can't get the whole thing, so you have to take it kind of in sections. And if you don't do it right, everything looks a complete mess. Like nothing's connected. It's just kind of a hodgepodge. Which is what I just did when I did Saving Feyce, and I was really not happy with some of the drawings that I was doing because they looked too scribbly, which sounds funny when all I'm doing is actually scribbling, but they looked scribbly. Which I don't like this. This now looks, you see this? This looks like messier now. He's a hairy guy. So say I. Right. There we go. It's Spit. Now, it's the dialogue that really does it. I'm sorry if I'm drawing Leon's hair too long. I don't know. I had to like switch back and forth between bales. So Spit, it says, so you have a talking snake. This is not a bad hallucination. Not the one I'm used to, and I think Jonnet shouldn't be here, though. Gives you an idea kind of what Spit is up to. But in case that wasn't clear, this is the other quote. Ready? This is a good one. Now I'm going to need you to walk with me back through Goni, and we're going to start looking at the doorways and the thresholds for this place for pervert sign. Now that's a secret language that only the perverts of Spear speak, and they just sort of let it all out. You put it on the door, and that way you know it's okay for Spit to come a-knockin'. So I'm going to teach you some basics of pervert sign, and we're going to go look through one of these buildings as a safe bathhouse for me to take a half pound of psychedelics and really get down to some things that the outside world will find extremely questionable. I can't deliver it as well as James, but I laughed out loud. Yeah, that's it. I just, like, I lost it. I don't know. That, like, I thought this could go for that other quote, but I think he'd be saying it with a smile. I don't know. I have to think about that. Sometimes I try and be economical and use the same picture, but maybe not. Maybe that's not going to work. Oh, and that's true. There was Travis spoke back. Because before they were keeping it a secret that was Travis. And that didn't work. And so the snake Travis got kind of fed up with this. There's fed up snake Travis. I'm just gonna get really close up with snake Travis being really mad. Maybe could we curl up snake Travis? I don't know. What do you think? Five-foot snake races. There you go. Maybe pissed off snake. That's really not the right. There. That's more. We'll fix that in post. It's gonna be fine. And there's really not much. He's a white snake. I mean, not the. Yeah. Okay. Now everyone's gonna start doing with the music. I can tell. I can tell just by saying it out loud. Just by saying that, I made it happen. I've no one but myself to blame. Okay. So let's give maybe a few hints of scales, right? Right? That's scales. That's how you know it's Snake Travis. Right, there you go. That looks kind of like Snake. There you go. And you get this whole rant about the bad hallucination of a talking snake. And then you have Travis, who gets he's mad. It's like, I said, I'm Travis. I'm Travis. You're on drugs. This is a dream. Which I thought was just really brilliantly. And Spit's response after that was, I gotta find the talking raccoon. I like the talking raccoon better. So maybe I should draw that a little bit of Spit looking confused. Need the talking raccoon. Yes, Danger Noodle. That's right. I don't know what hair metal mode is, and I don't think I need to know. Yeah, I know. Look, as far as hair, like, I get teased constantly. I shed hair. It's just nuts. It's like I had a dog. I had a Samoyed growing up, and you could brush those things and create smaller dogs out of how much you could do. It's just insane. And so my hair also just everywhere. Just everywhere. It's crazy. Okay, Spit wants the talking raccoon. We're going to make him... That's being a little more of a bad trip here. There you go. Get that chin in. Jawline. Big ear. That's what I like doing with him. Head comes down with chocolate hair. Like this. Alright, now he looks a little bemused. We don't have any really, like, gross characters in our games. That might be a missing. I don't know. Although just having had a gross game, I'm not sure I want to do that. How will we show... Who wants a talking raccoon? You know what? I'm going to do this, which nobody actually does this move. Nobody actually does this, but it's like a universal sign of these cartoony hand things. Twiddling kind of thumbs here. Ripped. He's a pirate. They're all pirates. They're Skyjacks is in that world. That's what pirates are. So he's like, I need the talking raccoon. A little bit of sweat here. I'm a little nervous. Kind of bad trippy, right? There we go. I need the talking raccoon. I got pretty good at drawing badgers. Just, apropos of nothing. I'm pretty good at that. I think one of the most addictive parts of Skyjacks, besides the humor, is the music. They have music by Arnie Parrott, and his stuff is just brilliant. I can find myself hearing. My kids know it just from being in the car. Even when I shut it off, when they come in, they know I was listening because they can hear the rollicking good time. There we go. Spit. That was disgusting. Flop sweat. Actually, you should be like... Yeah, that looks about right. I don't know. I want the talking raccoon. Let's find the talking raccoon. I liked him better. A little bit of shading. Make it pop. There you go. Oh man, I could do Skyjacks all day. Got so many quotes. So many quotes. That's the funny thing is now I can listen, and when those moments happen, you can pick them out like gold. It's fantastic. This is a two panel. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. Let's see. I think I just moved everything. So this is Gable. Once again. Right? That's how fast we do Gable. How do I know it's Gable? Long coat. Shorn hair. And it's, now I did it too close. Now I'm stuck. Ugh. Alright, so how do you fix that? Yeah, pen. How are you going to fix that? I don't know. I'll come up with something. I'm clever. Come up with something. I'll tuck it behind the arms. I have to go back and figure out how I'm going to get that line in. Let's just say that that works. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go back and do it again. And I need the face of... So this is what happens when I try and do it just on a piece of paper. There you go. The line is... I hate to say it, but I think Travis is having a good idea. And Travis is like... Of course I am. Says the snake. And then we have Gable looking exasperated. It's the same Gable. I have to try and draw it the same way. So otherwise I would do something intelligent like be able to do it digitally and adjust it slightly. Oh good, I smashed it on this side too. This is great. If you're going to make the same mistake, do it in two different places. Actually, I don't think that even works for what I was going to do because I was going to have it shrug and then I got all caught up in the fact that I was doing the same mistake again. Okay. So this may not actually work at all. That's okay. That's okay. I hate to say this, but I think that Travis is having a good idea. Of course I am. Ugh. Don't say it like this happens often. There, that's the delivery, folks. That's the jokes, folks. To which you'd have another thing of Travis, but with the mouth closed looking, not amused. And that does not look so much like a snake as Nessie. I just did... Okay, so this whole thing is out. This whole, we're not going to even color that in. It's a mess. We're going to go back to this one. See, this is a snake. I like this snake. This, Nessie. This, Danger Noodle. I think that's as far as we got on this one. Sometimes you just have to cut your losses and say, maybe it's no more time for a snake. Maybe that's it. Oh well, that's okay. I can deal. All right, so what's next? We have the really gross, I need to walk you through Ningoni thing. May have to draw that out again. Okay, so there's this great bit, except for it's a several part bit. Can I do it in one picture? This is part of the challenge that I'm finding, because again, I'm not technically a cartoonist. I don't do comics, 1 panel, 3 panel, whatever. It's just, it's hard. So you have this woman they were talking to. Not someone that we know. So then I can make her hair as crazy as I want, because I'm not going to have to draw it again. Let's do that. There we go. So there. Can you see that? It's like at the end of the page, so I want to be sure that you can see what I'm drawing here, in case it's relevant. There we go. Hands on counter. This is great when you don't have to worry about who these characters are, because I'll never have to draw them again. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay. This was at a post office bar. That was what they invented off the top of their heads. So sure, why not? And it's Gable, once again getting caught in this sort of problems. Because Gable's the one carrying around Snake Travis, which is always a good time. And I believe it was in a pocket this time, so how am I going to do that? So we need Snake, Snake Travis, and pocket. Okay, but I don't want to hear any jokes about pocket snakes. This was not me. I did not come up with this. This is canon. This is somebody else's canon. Not my fault. Pocket snakes. All right. Thank you, Justin, for telling me that that's still in frame, even though it's like really the bottom. You can see the bottom. Like, I can't get much worse here. There we go. Try and do good lines here. There. Right? That's pretty good. Except one would imagine it'd be very hard to get a 5-foot snake to be doing this, but sure, why not? It's fiction! Great. So, what? This is going to be here. And I have to do one over here. That's kind of good. Do that. See if that works. That may work. Okay, so the quote being, there's a woman saying, "Are you a ventriloquist?" And Gable says, "Yes, it's an act I'm working on." And Travis speaks up and says, "I cannot tell a lie unless it is a stupid lie." And Gable's line after that is, "I'm very funny." Which, of course, was funny. At least I thought it was funny. I know. Justin, we're sharing 13-year-old boy humor. Is that right? Is that what we do? It's okay. It's all about smiling. That's the idea. Okay. Then we got another one with Travis talking with Gable, so I'm just going to do... It's just doing Travis? Yeah, okay. So it's Travis the snake again. So this time he's not angry. It's more like... Well, it's more like sarcastic. Which is very Travis. Travis is very sarcastic. Now I feel like I'm just doing the same picture over and over again, except for that, which is going to be that way. Sorry. Why does this feel... This looks like it just became like a cinnamon roll or something. I don't know what just happened here. And Travis is not a cinnamon roll. At all. Okay, but see, now I've actually practiced this once, so I feel a little more confident about like doing it here. So I can just, if I liked some of the effects that came out before, and just repeat it. And then when it posts later and they're weeks away and whatever it can look like I was clever all over again. People will forget that I've already done it like this before. Like I'm fooling anyone. For me and the like 12 people who watch this regularly on Twitter. There we go. Get a little bit of... Yeah. But you don't know the line. You don't know why I'm already laughing. Okay, so he's complaining because he and Gable both talk a lot. Gable is an Aasimar fallen angel, and Travis is a changeling. In this case, he's a snake, but at each season, his form changes. So Gable's trying to talk mano y mano, for lack of a better term, to Travis, and Travis is having none of it. And he's like, look, I'm genuinely saying that we're both old and we have common ground there. If you came to me saying, oh, Travis, you know that thing when you have too many eyes and are horrible to look at you? And I'm saying, no, I can't relate to that because I am but a man and a snake and a coyote and a rabbit and a different bird, which are all his forms. And it's pretty funny. So for anybody who would follow Skyjacks, it's a lot of fun. I think I have 2 more quotes that would go with Skyjacks, but I think I'm going to wait on that because nobody here knows Skyjacks, and so this seems pretty weird. So let's not do that. There we go. Not doing Skyjacks. What if I go back on Old Westlands? Any votes on that? Any votes on whether I should be doing Westlands or Saving Feyce? What do you think? Anybody can say so in the chat. Yeah, my inner 13-year-old is definitely amused with this crew, I gotta say. These quotes that I have from Westlands are... We've done some of them, actually, here. Oh, damn. See, I only did half of a quote for the Shackles one. I should go back and fix that one. That Shackles one that had Al holding the shackles and Sin looking mad was, anyone object to my taking off these shackles? Me taking these shackles? Anyone who's not raving on a rock? I forgot that last part. That's important. Thank you for hanging out and watching. Well, let's see. So, there's a great quote in here, but I can't even know how I'm going to draw it. This was when Leon went to... Yeah, I mean, you can see my hand right now. When Leon went to heal Sin on the rock after Sin had insulted Sumara, and so he, like, basically facepalmed him. And the quote was, "You're a dick, be healthy," which I thought was so funny. Good job, Abe. But that's really hard to draw. No, I do not. What is this bot? I don't want to... How do I get rid of that? Bad bot! Do not be here. How do I get rid of you? Yes, let's do that. Let's block you and make you go away. This is why you need somebody to do this, because I can't do it all myself. I can barely do it at some of myself. But, you know, I'll keep trying. So looking at Saving Feyce. Now, there's a lot of stuff. I take a lot of quotes. Let's see if we can just go backwards in time. So if I'm going to do, I'm sorry, I have to switch these. If I'm going to do Frostbite, I have to use a small pen because I draw him very small. I just do. And it's when he was, let's see. And Frostbite has his shock of hair here. That's quite a look for Frostbite. Little fingers. And then we got rapid wing beats here. It's very sloppy and either works great or it doesn't. Like those are the, you don't have a lot of room to fix things. I like subdividing it out like it's little fly wings or something, so you put little shimmers on them. Gives some texture, gives some movement. Again, when you only have a few strokes to get movement and expression and all this and a little bit of shading before it all gets mushed up, you have to be sparing. At least I do. So that everyone can see what's going on. There you go. So we have, so I think I'm going to draw this the same way, actually. There you go. Great, do you know what that is? Can you recognize this scene? This is Abe and Justin's thing, so one would hope that this would look at least a little bit familiar. If is it focused enough? It looks very tiny. I'm gonna have to tilt that a little bit. But he says, "Hey Pod, come here. You want to have fun?" He's asking Pod over because you describe Pod as just a little gray blob, just a little gray blob oozy thing. So I thought in my head, that's kind of what I saw. Something that looked a little like this. It never looks exactly the way I would see it in my head. But I try and get it's kind of the basic movements. This little Pod, the gray ooze, scooching, following his friend. Right? There you go. It's a little cartoon scene. So this is the moment that I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like write it up here so that you can see the joke. But then it's just taking up space in ink. So that's when I try and use a different pen so that I can just erase it later and don't have to worry about it. Hey. Alright, I definitely should not do it in cursive. That's just a mess. You're not going to be able to understand that at all. Alright, let's go for something easier. There was a phrase that came up during the game I thought was pretty funny. Does it have really anything to do with wine? No. But the idea of not drawing her with something like this just, it doesn't feel right. You just need it. You just need it. Here we go. One, two. Try and put this. This is how I distinguish her dress. It has these little gathers. I'm tempted to put like wink. Put an additional wink on here or something. It's gonna need that. I think that's gonna be the addition that we put in later with the text. There we go. This is how you know that you can create iconic characters. An iconic character, you just need a few things and you know exactly who it is, different than any other character that it could possibly look like. And really, when you have, well, the smirk can pretty much be anywhere, but it's the hair that ends in, you know, a different color down here. So this is all the scribbles, putting in scribbles. Neha is curvy, that's true. I have to get used to, you know, how to do more body types. Again, the thing is, you're just scribbling in the moment. You're just trying to capture a feeling, but you're right. I am more aware by I actually somebody when I was drawing Veth from Critical Role. Somebody's like, she's definitely curvy, and I'm like, yep, no, I'm getting used to drawing that character not as a goblin. So you're right. I just need to add some more heft to the skirt. But I've been very conscious of it since, because I want to be sure. It's like somebody asked if I could draw my stuff and put the alt text in so that people could enjoy the cartoons with the descriptor, with alt text. And I hadn't considered that anybody would want to do it, but once somebody asked, I'm like, okay. And I try and make a really concerted effort when prepping my stuff early to make sure that I include the alt text so everyone can enjoy, even just when I'm describing it. Maybe that would work. So yeah, this was the phrase that came up in the show, and it made me laugh. There we go. That was the. I like it. It's fun. Okay, another straight shot here. Let's see if I can do a straight shot here. I'm gonna look off screen for this one. Actually, I'll look off screen on this side. I'll do this side. Oh, this is way too big. This is too big for my pixie. Dude, no. Ugh. I'll have to shrink that. This is way too big. There we go. Shimmers. I mean, we know who this is, right? We know this is Frostbite. So I hope you know it's Frostbite by now. I don't know, other people are drawing him differently, so maybe I'm not making him recognizable enough. I don't know. We can but try. It's just hovering. Just hovering there. And there's basically his quote, and then there's a quote off stage. So there's actually going to need to be like this coming off on off the page on this side. in order for this joke to work, supposedly. Where Frostbite, Diana's just been snatched, and I imagine her just being snatched right off the page. And he's like, called it. And her scream back is, at least I didn't step on it, because she is our trap detector. Good job. Good job. Those are kind of the quotes from episode 1, I think. Speaking of Diana. Half-elf. Still working on how I designate half-elves and elves and things like that. I keep changing my mind. I'm using this with really broad strokes. This is with my 8. Try and get some of these like just really big motions in. So it feels very clunky and very kind of cartoony put together because of the delivery here. There, I mean, that's it. That's all I need to do in order to show Diana in that kind of cartoon style. And she's like, let's just say the elephant in the room, this is my fault. Which, you know, it was. I don't know what it is with you and the tentacles. I'm gonna ask. TMI with the tentacles. Go. There, look. A few strokes, you've got Diana. Looking like Diana. I think so. I did miss what she said under her breath, and it wasn't caught well on the VOD. I kept rewinding it and going back to listen. So I'm glad that you told me. Too much information. Let's see. Doing the cartoon style again. Really big. Really big. There we go. I don't know if I like this quite as much, but we'll see. It's good to give it a chance. I like doing this. It's a good way of doing hands together. I mean, that's all I need. You're just trying to suggest what this moment would be. What is this moment? This moment is talking to one of the all-time favorite characters, Manticore the Dwarf. There you go. That's like that's pretty much everybody, right? Right? The line was, "Have I always been a door?" And the answer was, yes. Which is a very simple turn of phrase, but it really made me laugh. I don't want to know about her tentacles. Thank you very much. Keep that information to yourself. There we go. Different textures here. Maybe a little bit of shading. That's what I should do over here, actually, shading. Make this a little bit more depth. There we go. He is just a great NPC. And I like to do some wood grain on the board so it's not boring. And I try and do them each separately. So it looks a little bit more like wood. Or at least does to me. some hatch marks. Doesn't make a big difference, but just a little one. And then we have a door. Well, you know, it's the little things. As a GM, it's really great to have those little things that you really enjoy playing and doing. Everyone knows I do have my favorite characters that I like to play and enjoy. The tough part is when you come up with a character and you really, really like it, and then nobody plays with it anymore, and then like you can't do anything with it. Like, it's gone. You have to wait and put it into like a different campaign or something. There you go. It's Frostbite. So says me. Okay, what else is here? Let's see. Oh, Yuffie had a good line. Aoife had a good line. Here we go. There we go. Head witch, which are crazy hair. She says it has like the sticks and whatever through it. Try and always leave some room to put sticks in. Stones, little baubles and stuff. It's not always at the masquerade, you know. Okay. And I'm trying to think of how we're going to deliver this. This line here. Crossed arms are not easy to draw. Can I just say that for the record? Crossed arms always look a little awkward to me. But they're so recognizable. I want to always have them there. There you go. Aoife. I like Aoife-ish. A little Aoife-ish. Aoife's line is, no one gets to decide for me who I get to be protected from. I think it's a great line. Some of this texture in. This is more curly. I usually like to do squiggles, but I wanted to see how the pattern would come out, because I don't want it ever be mistaken that one is Aoife and one is Nea. There we go. There. Swamp Witch. There we go. She delivers the lines just so matter-of-factly. A lot of fun just to hear. There we go. There. Little texture, a little good, but it's not funny. Look at that. We can take a really good look and see how even just some basic structural. This is Aoife, and this is Diana, and this is Neha, and you've got it. Nea is just like, they're all distinct. That's what I like, is to have them be very distinct, even though the faces are the same. The delivery is very different. So that's fun. I want to feel a little helpless giving this line. Is that a little better? I don't know. I don't know if I like not having another hand. So here, we're just gonna putting it next to her, but I think this is gonna be better. There you go. I like that better, I think. The line is, why are you like this? I know why, but I just like being this way. She just wants to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Let's try this. That's not as heavy as I want it to be. There we go. So this is the thing, I can't take any credit for the humor or the intelligence or the delivery. It's not me. It's not me at all. I'm just listening. I'm just inspired by people being clever and snarky and brilliant. She is good at saying the quiet parts out loud, although they don't tend to be very quiet when she's saying them. Although she always says it with a laugh. Like, there's a lot of times that just cracking herself up, and so you know it's coming. Like, you know, like the bump is en route. I wish I could be as funny or have the delivery as so many people that I hear. But I don't. I just have to borrow. I have to borrow their brilliance and make it my own, in my own little way, to immortalize the silly. There we go. Before I used to like do the ends of the hair. I would do the ends of the hair, like I'd shade it lightly, but I didn't like it. I like the contrast more. So even though I know it's green and it shouldn't be kind of that heavy, I like doing it that way. There we go. It's a Neha. She says Nia, right? I always say Neha because that was somebody I know whose name is Neha. It's spelled the same way. So, sorry, Nikki. Sorry. Okay, then there's another one. But I'm going to push this. Like, it's not gonna be as big as I'm gonna draw it, but it just becomes funnier when you do that. So let's see what it goes. This is right out of like a Peanuts cartoon kind of thing. So this is really big cartoon style at this point. There you go. Right? Big laughter. I don't like how this face came out, so we're going to probably do that again. Because I can. That's the power of positive thinking. I don't know, something like that. Put those in. I can change that in post about how thick they're going to be. to grab another line from like this. We'll go here. So this is 1, this is 2. We're going to axe that, put that, and move it over in order to deliver just the ha 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 ha, stay in the frickin' word forged, which he's saying to Frostbite. It's just to deliver that line. This is all just to deliver that one line. Is it worth it? Is it? I hope so. If it makes somebody smile, then it's worth it. That's how we know. That's how we know. See, I got a little laugh. This is to make Justin's day. That's it. See? That's how you know if it's worth it. Did it make Justin smile and laugh a little? The brilliance of his players in the world that he's created. Then it's worth it. That's right. It's one of those weird things, like, can you leave the world a little brighter than when you came in? I don't know what I can do. I've done some like real things, besides having kids and, doing work and things like that. I've worked on things that I'm very proud of that I think have made a huge difference. But I actually like doing just the small differences, like little things. Little things. If you can just get one compliment to somebody in their day, some stranger. I mean, it's hard to do strangers right now because we don't see them as often. But, a little compliment, a little paying it forward, a little random smile of cartoon silliness on the internet to make someone's day. I love doing episode 1s. I love doing that because A, it can introduce people to some more really fun storytelling that's out there. It acknowledges people, lets them feel heard. But also, it's a brand new smile. It's somebody who probably doesn't know that I do this stuff. And then I'm listening, and then I heard them. And it just makes their day. They didn't expect it. They didn't know that this could possibly happen. And there it is. Surprise. I filled up this page, though. There's no... I don't like leaving white space. See that? I want to do something with that. I want to do something with it, and I don't know. I'd have to do it sideways and skinny. Do I have anything like that? If I had the Murder Mermaid, I could have done that there, but not really. So let's see. Is there anything from the previous one? Let's look at episode 10. I don't know. Let's try. I'll have to think about that. Actually, you know what this also works for? I just saw another quote. That is fine, but if the world burns, it won't be my fault. Irony. That's irony there. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Okay, there's quite a few here. There's some great tete-a-tete moments that I want to try and grab before I have to leave, before I have to shut this off, before I have to go. Yeah, it didn't burn the world, just cities. That's right. So again, I don't have to draw the whole thing. Pretty much gives you an idea of who I'm talking about, right? Ah, you hear the kitty again. There we go. So we have Nia, and you gotta understand, I have to like do Frost very different here, and just to get some scale is very difficult. Let's see what we can do. And right, he's got the wings going 90 miles an hour here. This scale doesn't look right. I don't like that. And I'll put him a little bit ahead. I don't know, what do you think? So it's a little off. The line, though, was, I don't think anyone lives there. Yes, there were. We murdered them there. Which was great. That's another great one. Here's frostbite again. See if we can get a little bit more. Move in here. I don't know if I'm even seeing this. Hold on. Oops, missed one. Okay. Moving, moving, moving. There we go. It's very hard because I'm doing also these how heavy the strokes are for this. Let's see if I can not use the point. This was 0.08. This is now 0.05. Maybe that'll be better. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Big Nia hair. Big Nia hair. There we go. I didn't do this one already just because it feels familiar. I don't know if I've done this one before. I'm hoping not. I don't want to. I might have to choose which one I'm doing because I'm trying to catch a moment, right? You're trying to catch the thing that you were inspired by in the moment. That doesn't mean that I want to do them repeatedly. And the quote was, Nia, do you want the world to burn? Heavens no. I love shopping too much. Which pretty much says what we need to know right there. But look at the weight difference. This is 0.08. It's 0.05. Can you see how much more cartoony this looks? This one compared to this one? I mean, they're both cartoony, don't get me wrong, but like one has that really thick cartoon look, which I enjoy. I like using my 0.8 for that reason. But I thought with the weight difference between how I'm drawing Frostbite with a 0.02 and the difference between that and a 0.8 is pretty thick. And I don't know if I like that, as opposed to the difference between, this is a 0.02 that I'm using for the detail work here. And this is 0.05. So I like the feel of the 8 for the cartoon, but when comparing these two, I think I should stick with the 5. This is getting into the weeds. We don't want to talk about this. We want to talk about great lines. I'm not going to draw the chandelier. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Abe. I'm not doing Frostbite in the chandelier. Just not doing it. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see. Let's go back to the cartoony bits, though. I like that. That was better. you go. I didn't think of this stuff either until I started, you know, playing with actual pens. And this is thanks to my Patreon. Anybody who's on my Patreon, thank you for letting me get pens. Real pens. Alright, so we're going to just do this again over the top. This is creative interpretation now. You can't stop me because once something creatively leaves, you can't do anything about it. You don't know what people are going to do. Just trust me, go watch Stardust by Neil Gaiman, the movie versus the book. Then you'll see what happens when somebody gets creative license and does something completely bizarre that you did not intend at all. It was pretty ridiculous. Here we go. So this is another one of those great lines, and I want to see if I can do it justice here. It's not easy. There we go. Ah, that line shouldn't have gone there. We'll fix it up. Okay. And we have Aoife. This, right? To do her different things all caught up in her hair. Oh, there goes a kitty. And let's just have her arms come down and do the thing with the hands. So this is like holding hands. And that's all I needed to do is make that squiggle. And you've got hands. I like that. It makes my life easier. There we go. Oh, kitty. There you go. We've got Petrus and Aoife. Petrus and Aoife. And his thing saying, maybe this way, if I get shot, it won't go in. And Aoife, I'd just prefer you not be shot. That seems pretty... that seems pretty fine. That's fine. That's fine. And then actually that turns around with another moment. Although it's not a comic moment. And sometimes I feel bad making comic moments... comics out of not comic moments. There, that's what I wanted to say. I don't know. How do people feel about that? Making comics out of not quite funny moments. I'm of two minds. That's why I don't do like Cthulhu. I don't do Vampire the Masquerade generally. I don't do anything that has a style that would not enjoy being cartooned. Like, I don't want to mock somebody making their serious story by making fun of it as it's cartoony or funny if they don't want it to be. You know, that's not being respectful. I don't want to do that. So normally I don't cartoon anything like that, but there was this one time that what did I write to? I think I wrote to B. Dave Walters because somebody had mentioned doing LA by Night at the time, and I was like, oh, I would, you know, I think this sounds like a great cast, but I wouldn't want to do something that wouldn't be correct for the genre. He said, no, actually they're pretty funny. And so I tuned in, and oh my god, they were hilarious, which was bad because it was on Friday nights on the West Coast, and so it's like starting at midnight or something. It was ridiculous. And it just was not a good thing for me to become addicted to, but I was so addicted. I'm part of the family. It was amazing. It's amazing. And they've expanded to a number of things, and a lot of the people who are on that went on to do some other amazing projects, and I love being part of watching those things happen, seeing people succeed and go on to make great things, like Satine doing Gilding Light, and doing B. Dave doing his Black Man in America, and a lot of projects like that. And you have Dot, who's doing stuff with Cobalt Press now, and just like seeing people succeed to go on and do great work is a lot of fun. I think so. This is a very strange hairstyle compared to this. I like this one, which is a little wilder than this one. But I guess this one's more tentative, so maybe it works. I don't know. I'm going to do something different with the hands. Get a little sense. There we go. Do those little gathers in there. So there's Petrus, and I think I'm actually going to add this because it's the idea of what's happening in this moment, in this touching moment, I guess. And she's like, I'm glad we could get you an answer. I'm sorry this was the answer. And that was the moment that you found out about Asa. Sometimes the answers that you want for closure still aren't ones that you would want. I mean, of course you want to know. You do. But there's knowing, and then there's knowing. And I think a lot of people understand the difference between those things. Let's scribble this in. Apropos of nothing, I'm going to be doing a charity stream. I'm going to be GMing. I'm going to be GMing for the Queen for Chaotic Lawful on Wednesday the 31st. And I'm really looking forward to it because I had the fun of being able to introduce For the Queen to a lot of people, and I continue to do so because I just think it's amazing. By Alex Roberts, put out by Evil Hat Productions. It is a great game. Great game. Now, admittedly, I'm a role player, so that's why I think it's a great game. But most people that I know really enjoyed it, and I think it just inspired a lot of creativity. For me, it inspired a lot of things when I was thinking of Tooth or Truth, when that sort of took over. I was really excited about that. So good stuff out there. There is really creative stuff out there. Go learn about creative stuff out there. People are brilliant. I know, I just should be like doing drawing and keeping opinions down, but I can't help myself because I am letting my nerd flag fly. Love good games. Love good board games too. We're big fans of board games. The current one that somebody reintroduced me to, I'm not a big person for Race for the Galaxy. Not good at deck building games, but when there's a conversion one for Roll for the Galaxy, which is done with dice as the basis instead of cards as the basis, and I did much better with that. I could understand it a lot more, and I had a lot more fun. Oh my goodness, kitty. Oh my goodness, kitty. Good sir. Yeah. Okay, just doing a little bit of shading and color work. Color work. There is no color. It's black and white. Thank you, pen. I knew what I meant. There we go. Yeah, Kitty has been having lots of opinions, period. It's true. There we go. I'm going to have to actually do the formatting for a number of things. This is the funny thing. I can draw these really quick. And then there's formatting and putting in the typography, right? Putting in, it's not movable type, but you know, all the wording. There's, it's like everything that I try and do, I can do these in moments. And then putting the whole thing so I can show people takes just hours. It's ridiculous. So then I feel silly because I post like 4 billion of them. Nobody's making me do this but me. And they take days to put together. Why am I doing this? Yeah, Roll for the Galaxy. Race for the Galaxy is the original one, which is the card building one. Roll for the Galaxy was the one that they adapted and did it into dice, and I really enjoyed that one. Actually, the big hits in this house, especially in the family, are Splendor, which is gorgeous. And another thing that I really appreciate is having pieces that have a good feel to them. What's the other one that has that? Samurai. Samurai is a strategy game that has these like really smooth, beautiful pieces that are lovely. And Splendor, like even if you lose, you don't feel too bad because you're collecting gems and the pieces themselves are heavy. So they have physical weight to it, and just that one little detail makes it so much cooler to play them. They feel neat, and it's a great game. Splendor, I think, is a brilliant game. I love that. And it's also one of those like where we tricked our children into learning math, you know, with Splendor and not Kingdom Builder, Kingdoms. Kingdoms is one that you had to do math, and you're learning it with adding and subtracting and multiplying in order to get your score. Although Kingdom Builders does that too, and I actually like Kingdom Builders. I like games where you can have multiple ways to play and multiple ways to win with different strategies. Those are good games because then it's not like Settlers. Once you figure out Settlers, you figured out Settlers. Like, I like Settlers of Catan, but once you've done it, it's done. Like, you figured it out. Then there are games that you don't get to figure out. They will just have all these neat permutations and ways that you can play and different strategies that you can try out, and some of them work and some of them don't, and depends on a lot of factors, and I like that. I like being able to have multiple ways to play, so to speak. There we go. My little blue friend. There we go, little blue friend. Alright, so as we're wrapping this up, we have gotten some Skyjacks. And I actually didn't do Into the Westlands, mostly because I realized that I think I've done most of them. Without having a camera on, I just did them. So those folks will just have to stay tuned, so to speak. Look at that, that was being funny. There we go. A little bit of shading. So funny. See how different. Right? Here we go. And I haven't gotten to ask Abe if this is a decent interpretation of his character or not, and I don't know if he's still here, so just have to ask him another time. Some movement back there. Okay. Okay. So that's 1, 2, and oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go back and do any shading. 3 and 4 with snakes. We're back to snake jokes. I don't have to redraw that. Okay, that's okay. This was a lot. This was a lot. So thank you very much. You are here. Yeah, I know he is. But the question is that, like, he's just teeny. Like, when I'm drawing him, he's like teeny. And that's pretty big because both of them are supposed to be small. But I don't know. I'm just trying to capture him. Trying to capture your character as you speak him into being. Right? Or snark him into being, I guess is the case maybe. Well, thanks for tuning in. Pun intended. And hopefully you'll be seeing those soon. Not just on Toons at Noon. Okay, I am not touching that quote with the 8-inch pole. Nope. We're just going to leave it at that. So, hope you have a good day. Take care, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.